And we are live. Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, and it's the Bitcoin Ben Show here every Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. in the morning, whether I want to or not, here with the coffee. And for the second time this week, live from the old folks' home, we got Patrick rolled out into the public area and pointed at his favorite window with his the hummingbirds outside the window and the squirrels playing. How you doing, Patrick?
Fine. How about you?
Doing great, brother. Doing great. It has been another crazy week in the world of cryptos, the world in general, and on today's show, I basically I want to get an overview of what you think the environment of, let's say, the Ruskies, and this government we have here in America. And what do you think? Do you think that China is eyeballing Taiwan?
Always. And
Very.
and it's not just Taiwan. They eyeball everything.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think that China's looking at Taiwan right now like Epstein looked at a Christmas Sears catalog. That's what I think we got going on right now.
Yeah.
It's it's opportunistic, opportunistic. Easy for me to say.
But entertaining.
Oh, absolutely. So, do you see China making a move, or do you think that they're actually going to not risk it?
I think that they are going to make a move. I don't think it's just yet. I think there's still a lot of questions to be answered from the perspective of China and the international response to what's taken place in Russia, in Ukraine to Russia. They want to see when the other shoe drops before they decide to move forward with their plan. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. But they are going to do it. They just want to make sure that the climate is right. Interestingly, I had come across an article that pretty much said Xi Jinping asked Pooty Poot to hold off on going into Ukraine until after the Olympics were over.
Ah, that makes sense.
It does, because you want to have the closing ceremonies finished before you go in and you start to hammer the civilian population of a sovereign.
They have an image to uphold, you know.
Oh yeah. You know, you don't want your brand tarnished when somebody starts to soil the reputation of the gulag. So
Exactly. I mean, if China's anything, they're very image oriented. You know, they want to make sure that they look a certain way. Um, They prefer the view of the bottom of the boot as it as it comes down on your neck. Uh, and it's I think that China has 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 economic issues right now
Oh,
that
yeah, I think so. I think so.
that they need something. They need they need something internal to rally the slaves almost, you know, because they're if they didn't have a closed financial system, their currency would be absolutely garbage right now.
Oh, it
Worse
is. It
than
is.
Russia. Yeah.
It, it already is, and part of their problem was, you're right, but part of their problem had been that they went with this uh, partial capitalism, where we're going to invest in uh, treasury notes and bonds of the U.S. We're going to invest in bonds issued by Russia and other countries. They were playing the international financier role here, and it's going to bite them in the ass. It already is. And we had the Evergrande issue pop up too that they're still on the hook for. That dust is nowhere close to settled. Um, their real estate development is for shit now. It used to be the place to put your money. And interestingly, I used to ask myself, what the are people investing in real estate in China for? First of all, the country's friggin' huge. Second of all, they're building cities, huge cities, and nobody's populating.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are the creepiest
Aren't
freaking
they?
places.
Aren't they? And they're 20 years old and they're falling apart.
Yeah. Have you seen their concrete? It
Oh,
like
that's not
flakes
concrete.
away.
That's not concrete. No.
I don't know what they made that out of. And it it looks like concrete, but when you touch it, it's more like cotton candy.
It disintegrates. It's I think it's clay and gypsum and Elmer's glue.
not 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 even the gorilla glue. The good
No. This is nowhere close to Portland, baby.
exactly. And that 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 legion, oh, something else that just popped in my head. Uh, did you hear um, the head of the Federal Reserve yesterday and how he was explaining that America could launch another currency or use another currency a uh, as a legitimate currency, almost like dropping a hint that because it sounded oddly like someone explaining, well, we could use cryptocurrencies like the Bitcoin. It, it was really oddly phrased how he said it.
Well, and then you also had yesterday. You had Pocahontas out there talking about how we have to stop cryptocurrencies because they could be used by the criminals like the oligarchs of Russia to move funds around without ever having been identified. Well, being the dick that I am, I found an article from the Department of Justice talking about how they busted that couple who were trying to launder $4.5 billion. And they were able to trace all of the transactions that took place through the blockchain, and her notion that it's going to be secret and they can do it without ever being found out. You scratch your head and say, doesn't anybody take the time to sit down and talk to you about cryptocurrency and how this shit functions? Because this is not how it really works.
Yeah, and the amount of money that she's actually talking about, no, you can't hide billions of dollars.
No, but you know who can? Deutsche Bank, Societe Generale, Bank of America, U.S. Bank, J.P. Morgan, Mellon. All of those institutions are still laundering money for cartels, organized crime, and the oligarchs. Don't give me this shit.
I remember when I first watched Scarface and how they would drag those huge fucking bags of money into the bank, and the banker was like, you know, how much more are you going to bring in? And they said, as much as we want. And the banker, and they knew they were bringing in drug money. And these fucking bankers, they don't give a rat's ass, because most of the time they get a slap on the wrist and they're like, okay, well, you know, shucks, you can't shut the bank down, and no one gets prosecuted.
No, they get fined. They get fined, and that's the extent of it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, shit, what did they find on, was it Queen Elizabeth II? Was, there was cocaine coming in on that.
Yeah.
And it was funded by fucking banks.
Yeah. J.P. Morgan owned that fucking ship.
Right. Yeah.
And old Jamie Dimon's like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Well, that's the first I've heard of it.
Oh, yeah. Somebody dust off that hooker's ass.
Exactly.
God,
it's such a crock of shit.
Yeah.
We had these people out here. They're claiming that they're as pure as the wind-driven snow, and snow ain't the only white shit blowing around their office. You know, it's there's so much corruption in government and in the shipping industry. As an ex-truck driver, you know how easy it is to ship anything.
Well, that was one of the forms of legitimate businesses that organized crime got into. That and waste management, because we can bury anything anywhere and no one will ever find it.
Yeah.
Including Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah. This is how easy it is to do illegal things in trucking. I used to run trailers for a company called Dollar General. One of our drivers actually got caught with 3 trailers full of product at his house out in the middle of the country. Trailers full of dog food, cat food, toilet paper.
So he's envisioning the apocalypse occurring anytime then, isn't he?
Yeah, and he must have had pets because he
may not have. He may not have. That's a food source. That's a food source.
It's unreal how, and the only reason he got caught was his dispatcher actually couldn't get a hold of him for like a day and needed his truck because one of the other trucks had broke down, and he usually kept his truck at his house. So he drove over there and he sees these $3 General trailers sitting there like,
yeah,
what the hell?
Yeah.
And that's the only reason he actually got caught. I mean, trucking is the perfect industry to launder money, to move anything illegal, because you can hide. Hell, I've seen pictures of like thousands of pounds of marijuana sewn into couches and chairs and love seats, and
that furniture would stink, though. I mean,
no. You can wrap it, and then wash it with peroxide. You won't smell nothing.
Okay. I mean, so I've smelled it. I've smelled it. That's what I've read.
Yeah, that's word on the street. Not that I've known anybody.
Flanagan wants one of those couches, by the way.
Yeah. He really would never leave his house.
No.
Again.
No. It's medicinal furniture.
Yeah, if you've ever seen his house, he has like this big screen TV. He has like a pool table. Imagine being 12 with a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And that's basically his house.
Right.
And there's like a drum set, a guitar, like things laying randomly all over the place.
Nice lighting, though. Nice lighting.
Oh, absolutely. But the thing I find interesting about everything going on in the world is how, isn't it odd how everything going on, the news or the media, is somehow bringing in cryptocurrencies with it. You know, it's Russia invades Ukraine. Will they use the Bitcoin? Well, do you think it's on purpose, as in they're almost like laying out a like exposing the general public more to cryptos? I don't know. It just seems
yeah. I don't know that that's intentional, and I don't know that that's direct. It's a byproduct of what's happening. I don't. I don't know. It could actually be intentional to undermine the petrodollar. Um, it could well be. Um,
Yeah, there's something going on. Because I think the next inflation numbers, well, according to history, if last month was 7.5, right? Something like that official.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then this month should be approximately the same jump as the month prior last month. That would put us at like 8.1, 8.2, because it's not like they've quit printing money.
Right.
They're So I'm anticipating that. Because how would they explain the drop? Would there be no? And I know the farmers are the morning show I listen to on my morning drive. Farmer Dave on the Big 550. Shout out to Farmer Dave. Um, they're losing their minds over fertilizer. They are
Oh yeah,
absolutely losing their minds.
yeah.
And Russia announced this morning that they may not export any any uh, uh, fertilizer at all. And Russia's the number one supplier in the world of fertilizer. And the way we farm nowadays, the whole like no till or low till, farming and stuff. That is that is strictly because of the fertilizer that they're able to do that. And last year they did not till over the ground because they assumed they'd have fertilizer. And if there's no till and no fertilizer, the the first 8 inches of soil is junk. It's there's no nutrients. And
Well, that's if you don't. That's if you don't till. I mean, if I till what was last year's crop into that top, I get nutrients from that. Granted, my yield is not going to be anywhere close to what it has been, but that's okay because we're not going to be exporting to Russia or China. So,
that's true. But last year, at the end of their season, they, I think, like 65% of all acreage is now actually uh, no till acreage.
it
Because,
may have been that could change.
yeah, and the problem is you till it right after you harvest it. So it has that half a year or
To
whatever.
break down, right?
Right. Well, if they didn't till it and they don't have the fertilizer, it's not like they can just roll that ground over and all of a sudden
Right,
it's
right.
actually fertile, and I I don't know the way that the farmers are freaking out is not normal. I've been listening to this show for 15 years. And they'll bitch about rain, and they'll bitch about drought, and they'll bitch about prices. But you don't hear farmers in this type of panic because the fertilizer they can get their hands on is 6 times as expensive as it was last year. And that makes their acreage cost of planting, harvest, and all. They need, and this is something he said yesterday. If this is where we're at, we're gonna need $15, $16, $17 bushels of corn. We're nowhere near that right now.
Right.
It's at like 450 or I don't. I gotta check my corn report. But I see that's the shit I worry about. Because if we ain't got the corn, we ain't got the feed, we ain't got the food. And that's bad. Because I'm a fat guy. I'm trying to lose weight.
Yeah, but I mean, you have stores that you can live off of.
That's true. I will outlast most skinny people. Plus, I'll just eat them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Hey, if I have to chop up a few,
Vegans?
Yeah, are they really good?
I can't see how they are, but
no, they'd be too lean. There'd be no flavor. I want a
jerky. You make jerky.
Yeah, I guess you could hang them out and let them like dry out a little bit.
Right.
That wouldn't take long.
No.
I don't know.
Well, you could find you could find a feminist. You'd have some meat on those bones.
Ooh, no, see, I don't even know if I could eat a feminist. I mean,
if it came down to it, really, I mean, you could choke one down.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it. I don't know.
I know. You'd have to take a shower afterwards, but you need nutrients.
Yeah, then they're usually tattooed. See, I would rather eat an attractive person. I mean, maybe it's like a mental thing.
I think it is.
It's because an overweight feminist, like
that's redundant. That's redundant.
Hippie tree hugger. They're going to be bitter, and stringy.
Just tastes like piss and vinegar.
Yeah, because all they do is bitch anyway. So I mean, no, I'd rather. I don't know, man. Let me ask you a question: Would you rather eat a cat or a dog if you had to?
Oh, the cat.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like Chinese food.
Well, that is true. It's not like we ain't had it before.
Of course, if you go to Korea, you're going to get bulgogi. Quite a few friends in the surface. Found out later on that they had Fido. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I remember watching a show. This is years ago. This one show actually came out. The name of the show was Faces of Death.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. The
You,
monkey at the table. Oh yeah,
yeah, where they beat the hell out.
that was beyond disturbing. That was beyond disturbing. But there were
Those,
5 of us in a room, and we had been drinking all day long. So we
those
threw
were,
that one in. That was back when they had Betamax.
yes, those were the craziest movies. I I had a friend, John, who watched that with me. It it screwed him up for weeks. He was like paranoid of dying and was like, what has like there's it really is things caught people caught on tape, being killed.
Right.
And and I remember one guy in a press conference shot himself in the head. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, holy moly. So that's what it looks like. But my point was during that movie, there's a point where they're showing people eating dogs. And that was probably the saddest
Oh yeah,
of the whole movie.
yeah.
Because I'm like, yeah, these people dying sucks, but that's a little doggy dog. And that's a little puppy. That's sad. And how the hell do we get here?
It was the food shortage from the farmers, the
Yeah.
fertilizer. Those are the breadcrumbs. No pun
Yeah,
intended.
this show just went way off the rails.
Hmm.
Oh, speaking of off the rails, according to Farmer Dave, the rail yard over in Granite City and over in Dupo, apparently they're having major employee issues, like lack of employees, and that is screwing up the local shipping here in St. Louis. And they're saying, watch out for like shortages of a bunch of stuff here in St. Louis. So just wanted to give you a heads up, Patrick.
Okay. I appreciate that.
All right. Let's actually do a word from the sponsor. It's this great company. I just heard of them recently called Calyx Solutions. They have this crypto only laptop.
And if you buy one, you get one.
Exactly. You buy one, they ship you one. Yep. Let's hear from the sponsor.
Are you buying and selling cryptos on the same laptop that you're using to browse the internet, read your email, and visit social media sites? If so, you're exposing your cryptos to theft. Whenever you're online, you're at risk of getting hacked and having your identity stolen. How would you feel if someone stole all of your cryptos? What would that do to your finances? Guard your cryptos with a safe and secure laptop from Calyx Solutions. Each laptop is set up just for you and your cryptos, and then we walk you through exactly how it works. Don't risk the security of your cryptos. Order a crypto laptop from Calyx Solutions now to secure your crypto future. Learn more at calyxsolutions.io.
All righty, and we're back. Yep. We got about a little bit less than half hour left of the show, and when the show's over, Patrick will be sitting there waiting by the phone, 702-845-8276. Make sure that you give him a call, send him a text, maybe a picture or two.
No pics. No pics.
No pictures. Okay.
No.
I digress. No pictures for
No. You didn't digress. You just didn't know what my appetite was. No.
Yeah. No, speaking of appetite, this diet sucks. I'm drinking
Cold pressed juice.
pressed fruit and vegetables. The most I've had lately was like a salad. Although on my birthday I did have brisket. I
And
did
salmon. And salmon.
I had salmon when that salmon was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what has caught your attention this week that you think we should address here on the show, crypto or non-crypto related?
Well, actually, you were listening to Dave talk about how there's a boatload of information that's seemingly crossing the line from the segregated media, for those of us who wear tinfoil hats, starting to cross the line into the fringes of mainstream media about the vax.
Yeah.
And what's going on with that. I had a friend of mine I was talking to on the phone the other day, and he took it. It was one of those family pressure things, and we were having the conversation. And I said, you need to take a look at the Epic Times. You need to take a look at Just the News, which is John Solomon's outfit. There's another one called DC Clothesline, which is pretty good. It just started not too long ago. At least it showed up on my radar. And they have some pretty good information about the health issues that we're contending with, and the fact that DNA changes are happening through liver cells for those who were vaxxed.
Yes.
And the death rates that are showing up.
Yeah.
Cliff had talked about it.
I've seen just this week, I've seen probably 6 or 7 stories on people who suddenly die. You know, all of a sudden we have this suddenly die epidemic. And it's athletes, it's ex-athletes who are probably still relatively athletic, you know, and it's and they're falling over having heart attacks.
Myocardia events, yeah.
Yeah, and it's too many of them to actually be like not linked. Plus, all of them are jabbed. And I saw another thing that 90% of those in the hospital right now are vaccinated.
Yep. But they're not telling you that. They're saying just the opposite.
No. So 90% in the hospital, not like getting treated or
Right.
not getting
Right.
tested, but in the hospital are vaxxed. It's
Yeah.
how's that possible?
And then there was a JAMA report that came out. The journal JAMA is the Journal of American Medical Association. Came out saying that ivermectin is actually effective at the rate above 70%. But they had to write it in such a way that you have to read between the lines for the results, because otherwise they would be ostracized and skewered by their colleagues who have swallowed the line of BS, hook, line, and sinker, and are being paid by big pharma. So it was that's an interesting one too.
Yeah, as this all rolls out, I don't see. And where's Fauci? Where the hell did he go? You talk about somebody who's been ghosted. Holy cow!
He's getting plastic surgery. He's getting plastic surgery.
Yeah, he's in Mexico. Right.
I saw a T-shirt. I saw a T-shirt with his picture on it. They had the Adolf mustache, and underneath it said, "Papers, please."
Yeah, no doubt. Well, plus Russia. There's a reason that they don't play Russian news and translate it.
They just ran out to two news agencies. They just ran them out of Russia.
Yeah. It's the prime minister of Russia, or one of them, or whatever the hell his figure. The UN representative of Russia was speaking at the United Nations emergency meeting or whatever it is. And he flat out said, and you can Google this, although it might not show up on Google. He flat out said that that America has had a coup, and that the real American president is not in the White House. Look it up.
I believe you. I just interesting that would be said in the UN and not repeated.
Well, who else is going to repeat it?
Well, I think if you follow the Saul Alinsky school of ridicule, that would have come to the front, and everybody would have gone, well, this Lavrov cat he's a tinfoil wearing son of a bitch, and he's just making shit up. His days are done as being a politician. He's throwing out crazy stuff. This is nuts. Yeah. And they'd isolate him and which is what they do now anyway.
Yep. And yep, we're right there. The Russian ambassador to the UN said it yesterday during his UN speech. Yeah. And because I was sitting here listening to it, reading the translation because I don't speak Russian, and then I'm reading it, and then I think he switched over to English, and it was not very good English. It was, you know, Russian English. And he said it, and my jaw about dropped out of my head. I'm like, wait, did he just say what the hell I think he said? And then all of a sudden, cut to commercial, you know, they're like, and never heard another word about it. But then I saw it on, I think I saw someone on Twitter repost it, and then I didn't see it again. So I find it very, very interesting that that type of bluntness is coming out, or they're trying to get it out. I don't know. There's some strange stuff going on, and I agree with Dave at X22. In the next few weeks, something is going to happen. Something big. I don't know what it is. And I think they're preparing for something big, because even California, New York, all these places that were wanting lockdowns and you know, you can't fly without a vaccine passport. They're all rolling that back. They're all getting rid of all these vaccine things, and they're trying to get the vaccines and the COVID-19 and all that way behind them, because, and it might be like what you were talking about, how it's leaking out and it's getting into the mainstream, that there's some issue.
And a lot of, I would speculate that a portion of it has to do with November, and that they think that we're going to forget this shit, irrespective of what party you're part of. And I know there are a lot of Democrats who are saying, I can't vote for these guys. They took my freedoms from me. I'm not going to have it. So they think we're going to forget it. Nope.
It's just something feels weird. You know, it just has that, like, you know, something's coming, but you can't put your finger on it.
Right.
And that's how I feel right now. And I don't know if it's something good gonna come from our side, or is it something bad gonna come from the other side?
Pardon me.
You all right there? Did you?
Yeah, it allergies are starting to act up, and I think I saw mold was up, pine was up, oak was up already.
Oh, there's something up. My eyes are watering like crazy.
And I think the puppy is adding to the mix too. So,
how is your new puppy?
Walter is a spaz. He's a sweetheart, but he's a spaz. Yeah, I found we have 8 kitchen chairs, and he's cordoned off tile floors. He's been really good about not chewing corners, although this morning I heard this. I'm going, he's chewing on something. the hell? And I pulled a chair out, and he had gotten the face plate, their wood, and he had gotten the face plate on the underside and had chewed it. But, he's a puppy, and if that's the worst he does, okay, that's fine. And I sprayed it with pepper sauce, so he won't do it again.
Yeah.
But he'll be a lot of fun. Just right now, he's a pain in the neck.
Question for you. We got about 5 minutes left. What are your plans this weekend? You have something going on, or?
Well, Michelle left me with the dogs this weekend. She's up in Maine. So I'm hunkered down with the dogs. I got some work to knock out. I have some crypto magic to perform. Some of you folks may have experienced this, by the way, where your dataless wallet is not functioning the way you would like it to function. And that's because they made a change. You now are required to have a 16 gigabyte of RAM on your laptop or switch to what is referred to as the RTS patch. So I'm going to be doing that this weekend.
Super fun.
It is great stuff. And there's some other cryptos I have to tweak with. And Poloniex has kicked U.S. citizens and Canadian citizens off of the exchange.
Really?
Yep. So if you have anything there, you're going to want to get it out, get it off there. They said that it's passed, but you can email them and they'll give you an extension in all likelihood, or use a VPN from someplace like Germany or Ireland. And send them a couple emails. So.
And I am actually going to be out of town this weekend. Kelly and I are going to our favorite bed and breakfast. That place we. Yeah. That place is so nice with the hot tubs up on the hill.
Yeah.
And we're heading out there this weekend for my birthday thing, and then next week, I will be broadcasting from Florida. I will be here on Monday, but then I'm driving on Tuesday, broadcast on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I'm live in Orange County with Pix Weir in Orange County. Check out his website on where we will be. It's www.roadtoruta.com as where him and I will be next Saturday. So, other than that, Patrick, would you like to give the folks the rundown on Helix Solutions? And if they're interested in a laptop, how they can reach out to you?
Sure. Easiest way, well, there's two of them, is to call the number 702-845-8276. 702-845-8276, or email me at info@Calix, CALIX, solutions, plural.io. You can also go to the website, calixsolutions.io. There is a tab there that says crypto laptops, and you can order from there. That's what you're going to end up doing eventually anyway. So you can go and take a look at those. I will tell you that we are locking down the Dells. We're not going to be putting those out for a while. We've run into some operating system issues from them, at least this batch that we've gotten from the supplier. So we're going to vet that group. The Lenovo's are still working like a charm. And of course, the Apples are damn near flawless. So, you can go check those options out. calyxsolutions.io/crypto-laptops.
Awesome. Everybody, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you bright and early Monday at 9 o'clock. Everyone have a great weekend, and remember to, if you drink, don't drive. And if you drive, make sure that you're on your way to go get a drink. So, all right. Everyone have a great weekend. Love you guys. Patrick.
Adios.
Bye-bye, everybody.